Hi, this is Brandon Hurter with Pivot180. I am about to take you through our AI-powered invoicing tool. I built this for my business just to take away the burden of managing both reoccurring invoices and individual one-time invoicing into our clients. So it's a pretty basic tool that allows me to manage all the invoicing on a timing perspective and a review perspective as well. So it starts out with a dashboard view, and you could meter this how you want, but essentially you could see what I like to look at is what's overdue, what's outstanding, are there any things that are pending approval, and what's been paid this month. And we'll see that we have a couple of invoices out. All these are like fictitious. And you also have a list of all the upcoming, which means that there are regular repetitive invoicing that is going out, that goes out every 30 days. And I'll show you what that looks like. So to do this, basically, you essentially first establish a client record. So you would give the client a name at the contact level, who your primary point of contact is, what's the company name, what's the primary point of contact's email. And the CC email is most often like accounts payable or somebody in charge of accounts payable so that they receive the same invoice as well. And then you just add their billing address and any notes about them. I've already got one created as an example, so I'll show you what that looks like. Dr. Massey from Acme Inc. This is his email. And then there's a CC to accounts payable. What I've also done, once you have the client established, you can create one-time invoice, which is new invoice, or you can create a scheduled invoice. And here we've created a scheduled invoice and a one-time invoice to show you as an example. So the schedule one actually is already created, but I'll show you what that looks like. When it's created, it populates and attaches itself to the client record. So you know that there is always a monthly invoice that's going out, and it has 2 line items to it. And it goes out every month on the 29th. You could establish those intervals, what the total is, and when it's next run. Is it active, yes or no? This is where you set it up in the edit schedule. The fee, the cadence, what are the payment terms? You can put some remarks that is essentially a reminder to the person who's receiving the invoice on a monthly basis what this is about. And then you can line item your descriptions and your totals, quantities as well. The payment link and the payment instructions, you leave those blank unless you're doing a one-off different type of payment, because what you've done is you've set up those instructions in your setting, and I will show you what that looks like. So you save this schedule, and then it always is going to occur every month on the 29th. And what happens is you will receive an approval email. So how we've set this up is that there's a human in the loop that's going to review any invoice that comes through before it sends to the client. So as an example, we have 2 out for review right now. So what that looks like is I'll share my email. This is the email that came to me after we triggered that Acme Inc. invoice. You can also set your invoicing nomenclature in the settings as well, and the numbering concept to it. So this is pretty much what the client's invoice will look like, though they'll have a description box that goes into a little bit more detail on what they see or what is in the invoice. But here you have 2 buttons, approve and send or reject. And you have the actual PDF view that is the actual printable invoice that they will receive in the email as an attachment. So from here, you can either reject this. Maybe the email was wrong, maybe the amount was wrong, maybe your nomenclature, you wanted to adjust it. In whatever way, if you reject this, it goes back to your dashboard, in which you can then make a change and send it back up for approval. Once you hit approve and send, it's actually going to automatically trigger that email to your client's email address and the CC. So this is the human in the loop step to which you can basically look at every invoice that you're going to send out just to make sure that it's all buttoned up and presented in the right way. So another couple pieces to this tool is that you have an Invoices tab, which you can see everything that's out, what's sent, what's overdue, what's pending and approval. You can also look at paid. You have a Reports tab, in which is sortable by time frame, but it'll take a look at your aging AR, what's current, what's outstanding by client, how old it is. And then you can look at how your income streams are coming in from a month-to-month basis and match that up into how you're billing as well. So a nice little visual to give you a sense of how the accounts receivables function is working for you. Last here is settings. And here is where I mentioned earlier, you'll set up your payment instructions, but you're also connecting your Gmail so that those automated emails go out. You're giving your business information as part of the invoicing process. You're setting the payment terms. You could also drop a payment link if you have automated payment through Stripe or Mercury or somebody else. You can drop that link in there, and the Invoices will show a pay this invoice button, in which all the client has to do is click that button to pay. So that's the view of the Pivot 180 AI-powered invoicing tool. I hope maybe you saw something that might be interesting to you. It's super easy to customize, super easy to deploy. It's removing a lot of manual time that I would have spent generating invoice after invoice, especially on a reoccurring basis. So if you're interested in a tool like this, just reach out and we'll see what we can do to get you up and running. Thanks for watching.